Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar this morning. Today, I have the privilege of introducing Joel from Enabler Corporation. Joel is the co-founder of Enabler and has over 35 years of experience in the industry. He is here today to discuss Tupix's in-app shopping experience. Joel, please take it from here.
Thank you, Jada, and thank you all for taking your time to explore new tools, so new opportunities for everybody here in the webinar. So right now we're gonna talk about one of the members of our engagement platform, which is Topics. Topics Advanced and Integrated Customer Engagement Platform. And I will do stress once more about advanced and integrated. And through the webinar, you will see why I make stress or emphasis in the integrated part of this title, which is the real power or the powerful edge that gives you to you and of course for your clients in terms of serving the customers and of course at the end increasing sales, which is what everybody wants. All right. And we're going to have also a session for questions and answers. So please write your questions and feel free to ask them at the end of the webinar, and we'll be happy to answer those questions for you. Okay, so again, Topics is the name of the platform with different components, and just a quick summary of the makers of Topics, which is Enabler Corporation. We've been right now for 24 years in the industry. In fact, we were pioneers in the software as a service solution and also pioneers in mobile solutions and mobile engagement platforms. And that is shown in this graph where you can see that essentially we were doing this even before iOS and Android were born. We've been doing this since 2003. And in fact, we were recognized in 2005 by Microsoft at one of their Windows Mobile launch events in Las Vegas. And in 2008, even while a few months before the iPhone was released, we were already being recognized for the best new mobile application out there. And in 2007, in 2011, we also won another award for an Innovative Solution Award from the RSPA. So maybe some of you know that RSPA is the largest retail solution providers association in US. Okay. And that's why in 2020, we were invited to be featured in the Retail Experience Center. All right. So more than 3 billion transactions processed. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about a customer engagement platform that allows to interact with your customer and finish a transaction, a sales transaction, and integrated in many backend systems. We'll go into further details in a few minutes. The platform components are Topics mCommerce, and notice the M, which is not an E, is M because it's a mobile commerce solution. And we will get into that a little bit later for those of you that are not familiar with that term. Then also the Topics e-commerce, which is very well known, and the Topics gift, loyalty, store value, and membership system, which is also very powerful to cater to different needs that your merchant clients may have. And then also the Topics bill presentment and payment portal, which is also a very useful tool that can be combined with the other tools for you to provide a complete, comprehensive solution. And again, integrated to any backend system, even Retail Pro. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about mCommerce, topics mCommerce. So in essence, we're talking about an application, not a website, an application that will live or can be used temporarily in the mobile phone of the consumer, either Android or iOS. And that's very important because then you can do some other things that you cannot do with a website, and also in terms of performance. So it is free to download, a consumer app that is free to download. Then in that application, the store of the merchant, where he can have their products and services catalog. Then also you can either register the customer or even use membership features within that mCommerce store. And also we can do a branded application for the merchant. That means that the merchant will have their own application in the iOS, in the Apple App Store, or in the Android Play Store. So then you have two options. The consumer may download topics just as the regular platform, or the consumer may download the specific application of the merchant, which provides additional branding capabilities and marketing for marketing purposes. And then, very important, that is fully integrated through our EASY platform. And EASY stands for Enabler Advanced Synchronization System. And EASY allows the topics platform to be thoroughly integrated into Retail Pro, 8, 9, or Prism. That's also very powerful because essentially EASY makes the topics mCommerce store literally plug and play. Okay, so that is the mCommerce, and we're gonna go a little bit later about what you can do with that in a sales scenario. Then this is an image of how it looks when the customer is searching for the items in their phone. Of course, the items of the for the store of the merchant. And the app is, again, very easy to use. You can see different screenshots of the app. Essentially, the user can either register to use the Topics app, so that those are the first two screens from left to right. And then they're ready to see all the stores in that Topics platform. Or the customer may scan a QR code with their phone, and they can go directly to the fifth screen shown from the left to right. So the fifth screen shows you where the customer will land if the customer just scan a QR code in any place in the store. And then once they scan the QR code, then the system will immediately show the items for that store. So there's two ways to use the system depending on what you want to accomplish, okay? And then the other screens show you the cart and also options like pickup, delivery date, and so forth. Let me stress on the important note here, and this is an important thing and an important difference between an e-commerce and an e-commerce app. Because this is an mCommerce app, that means that there are no bottlenecks due to heavy traffic during peak hours. So that's the power of having both an e-commerce and also an mCommerce, because if for some reason there's some heavy traffic or there's some problems with the website or the hosting, the hosting provider, then anyway the clients, the merchant clients, can anyway access their mCommerce platform through their phone, and it will be as fast as always because then everything is running in their phone. It's not subject to the speed or hiccups of an e-commerce site per se. Okay, Later on, if you want to make a few questions around that subject, please feel free to do so during the question and answer section, okay? Because I think it's an important thing to, an important detail to justify having both an mCommerce and an e-commerce, both platforms in order to keep your store up and running always, okay? So now the e-commerce also topics has an e-commerce component. I'm not gonna spend too much there because almost everybody's familiarized with e-commerce. Of course, the topics e-commerce platform is totally customizable. So that's one of the important advantages, and is customer membership friendly. So that means is that if you have a merchant that needs to or they want to use membership features or a membership platform or provide their services or products based on a membership, then the system is able to use a membership platform that is provided also by topics. Of course, it's also payment processor friendly. We can use First Data, TCs, almost any payment processor, and also integrated plug and play with Retail Pro, A9 or Prism. Then also we have the topics gift, loyalty, store value, and membership platform. This is the module that makes possible some of the things that I mentioned earlier with both topics mCommerce and topics e-commerce. And of course, you have also the gift capabilities, the gift card capabilities, and also it is a store or provides you with a store value platform, which means is that in some instances, like let's say on stadiums where you want to use, let's say, loaded tickets, which is the same ticket that you use to buy your ticket, then you want to throw in money in order to use that in the different retail stores in that stadium, or let's say on an open market, then the topics e-commerce membership and store value platform allows you to do that. A platform where funds can be inserted into a closed loop account. And of course, also fully integrated into Retail Pro. The bill presentment and payment portal, part of the topics, is another module that can be used together with all the other components. And that allows the customers to go into a portal and pay previous invoices, previous things that they have done within the platform, and then they are able to go into a portal or receive an email with a link to that invoice and pay that afterwards. Just to mention that because there are certain instances where a retailer wants to do this type of things, maybe with a layaway program and so forth. And this is the image of that topics portal where the customer can go in and see a history of their transaction and also pay bills that are still pending to be paid. And again, a little bit later, we're gonna talk about a case, a use case where you will be able to see all those components working together. In this case, this use case, this is a retail store. Then that retail store, they want to do two things. First, they want to enable their customers to buy from the app, let's say from their office. So let's suppose that it is an office supply store. So then their clients, while they are in the office, they can just launch topics and then just scan the QR code of whatever things they want to replenish, paper clips, pen, pencils, paper, whatever. Just scan the QR code on that item, and then they will be able to place an order very quickly against the store of that merchant, which is then an office supply store, if that's the case. But also, in that use case, let's suppose that they want to enable what is called in-aisle shopping. That means is that the customer can be walking through the store, and now they can scan the item, put it in a bag, then scan another one, put it in a bag, and then they just, whenever they're ready, they can pay in the app and then just walk at that specific, let's say, door or a specific station where that is verified by an employee, but then that's all. They can continue walking out the door. So we provide with the Topics mCommerce platform a way to do in-aisle shopping. For those of you that maybe has been able to go to Disney Springs, as an example, in Orlando, you can go to any of the Disney stores in Disney Springs in Orlando, and they have this experience also available to their customers, where the customer just grab a bag, then scan a QR code in the store, which will launch the Disney Springs instant app. Then they will just scan items, pay in the app, and then just walk out the door. So that is the experience that the Topics mCommerce module gives to your merchants. And again, everything is integrated Retail Pro. So all those sales will be registered in Retail Pro, and your merchant will be able to continue to run reports right from the Retail Pro system, and they will be able to see all the sales that were done, let's say at cashier one, and all the sales that were done at the Topics mCommerce platform. Just as simple as that. Because the system is integrated into Retail Pro Prism through the Easy platform. The components that we have used here then is the Topics mCommerce, and also probably the Topics gift and loyalty system. Why? Because when the customer bought the goods from that store, if you want to enable them to join to your gift and loyalty platform, that can be enabled and automatically will then earn, let's say, cash back on those purchases. Or if the customer was a previous user and they already had some cash back accumulated, they will be able to use that also for payment. So the system allows the customer to pay with credit cards or with the current gift card and loyalty program that they have already joined automatically at that moment or previously. Okay. So that's a use case, a retail use case for the Topics mCommerce platform. How does this work for those of you which are probably thinking, how is this possible? So then in this graph, then we have different components of our platform. So at the center, you have Easy. That's the Enabler Advanced Synchronization System. So that's what it makes possible that everybody talks to everybody. So then you see underneath, you have the email POS kiosk. That's another solution. We can talk about that later, but somebody may buy stuff in the email POS kiosk with RFID tags, boom, and through Easy that will go to Retail Pro. Or somebody may buy with Topics mCommerce. You can see that at the upper left area. And once they buy stuff, then through Easy that goes to Retail Pro. And of course, any changes in product prices, any changes, let's say additional items, some special pricing, all that information will flow from Retail Pro through Easy to then the Topics mCommerce platform. All that will flow to the email POS handheld platform. All that will flow automatically to the email POS kiosk. So then this is how the data flows from one side of the transaction to the central Retail Pro server. And again, if you have questions around this, feel free to make them at the end of the question and answer section. Before going into the question and answer, I want to go to another scenario, because in some instances, in fact, we have some customers with that scenario. Let's say this one, school and college, where they have retail mixed with food and beverage. So just a quick note, if you have a customer like that, yes, the platform will be able to accomplish that, because then they will be able to use topics mixed with the topics e-commerce, mixed with the topics membership platform. That means that the parent may insert money into the ID of the student, and then the student can either order food ahead with their phone, or the parent can order the food for their child through the topics mCommerce platform. And then also they can buy books, uniforms, and other miscellaneous stuff for the kids through the Topics mCommerce platform. And also they can use the email POS in their cafeteria to run transactions. So this this gives you a very interesting integrated solution that is possible with the platform that we were just discussing. I just wanted to highlight that quickly to expand, kind of your view of what is possible with the platform. Okay, so now going back to the question and answer section, and I will leave it in this specific slide here. I will give the control to Jada to then go ahead with the Q&A section, or maybe make emphasis in some of the aspects or features that we just described.
Yes, thank you, Joel. I do have a few questions that we'd like to get some answers on. The first one would be, what are the cost differences between a merchant using the Tubbix branded app and using their own white label Tubbix app? Does it perform the same?
Yes, the performance is the same. The difference is in terms of functionality, that when they have their own branded app, when the customer downloads, let's say, the office supply store XYZ from the Apple App Store, they will literally see just that, an app from the XYZ office supply. And when they download, then they will open automatically the store. So it is kind of the own store of that merchant in the Apple App Store. The customer will just buy from that store, and the items, the only things that they will see is the items of that store. But then also, if they don't have a branded application, if they go ahead with using just the Topics mCommerce platform, the customer will be able to download the Topics app, which is always at the Apple Store. And once they download, they will be able to see XYZ office supply store, but they will be also able to see other stores for other things that they may want to used to buy stuff from, even also restaurants. So it's just a matter of, let's say, if kind of a concept into going into a shopping mall, that's the regular Topics platform, or just going directly to a specific store and seeing only the things about that specific store, that will be the Topics branded application that is loaded in the Apple App Store or the Android Play Store. And another functionality, the functionality of scanning a QR code at the store of the customer will work the same. Either you have your own branded store or the Topics mCommerce platform, the regular unbranded Topics app will work the same. The feature of having a QR store in the store, and people scanning that in order to go to the specific XYZ store is the same for both scenarios.
Great. There is another question going off of that with the white label app. How long does it take to get it designed, set up, and registered to be on the App Store? What is that process like?
Yeah, that's around 45 to 60 days. It is branded, but of course within a set of branding, I will say a specific branded items or functions. Let me go back to the app to give you a little bit an idea. So the things that will be branded essentially is the colors of that customer. The logo, instead of topics, will be, let's say, XYZ office supply store. Then the colors and the logo throughout the different screens, instead of the ones of topics, will be those of the branded store. The functionality of how the system works will stay the same. That doesn't change. And then also in the Apple App Store, what the customer will look for and will find it's the logo and the name and the app of that store. So it is their own app in the App Store. In fact, it is a totally different app that is loaded into the App Store. So that's why it takes around 45 days, because anyway, we have to package everything and submit that to the Apple Store. They have to approve it, and then we'll go live.
Great, thank you.
You're
Another
welcome.
question coming through. What are some of the options for email and text message marketing?
Yeah, good question. So in order to do the text message marketing, you will have to have activated the topics gift and loyalty system, and then in that system, you will be able to generate email or text message campaigns, which will be then sent to the users at will, or you can program those text messages or emails to go out automatically. So let's suppose that you set up on the platform a birthday note, a birthday congratulation note, and include with that, let's say, some type of goodie. Then you can configure that into the platform at that specific date. That text message will be sent to the consumer, and then they will be able to act on that. That's kind of an example of what you can do. So in summary, then you can do templates for text messages or emails, and then you can send those text messages and email or emails on a bulk release, or they can be sent based on specific events that happen throughout the year.
Great. One other question, I'll say any more questions coming through, but this is the final one I have for now. Can you explain a little bit more about the end customer experience? So when the customers were to download, set up, and use the app, kind of explain more into detail what that process would look like.
Yes. So I'm sharing my screen right now in that specific area, and I will show you. So let's suppose that the consumer will just download either the branded app or the topics app. What they're gonna see is the first, once they fire up the app, they will see the first screen here at the left, where the consumer register. You see two buttons, one that says login, another one that says register. If it's the first time, they will just tap on register. The system will ask the questions in the second screen here, which is first name, last name, the email address, of course. It will then allow them to generate a password, and then they will insert their telephone number in order to then, of course, receive text messages or other security stuff. And then gender and date of birth date and gender. Those two things are optional. And then just tap on register, and that's it. The person will be registered with the system, and they will be able to go to the third screen, where they will be able to see the different stores available in the system or in the area where they're downloading the app. And then they will tap on any of the stores, and they will go into the catalog of that store. There's another way of using the system. Let's suppose that you don't want your customers to register for some reason. Then there's another way to fire up the app. That's what we call the instant app application, where the customer will just scan a QR code around the store, and then they will go. The next thing that they will see is the fourth screen from left to right, where you see auto the shaving, Jack Black, the art of shaving. So those are the two categories on that store. Once they tap on art of shaving, then they will see the products in that category. So in other words, they scan the QR code and the system will automatically jump into the store without any registration. Just go into the store, and then the customer can then, of course, choose whatever they want to choose, and then, of course, they will be able to pay for that. So then you have two ways of using the system and two type of behavior based on what your merchant wants to accomplish.
All right, great. Well, if there's not any more questions coming in, thank you so much, Joelle, for demonstrating today. If you would like to schedule a personalized demo or learn more information, please reach out to us. Do you have anything else for us today, Joelle? If not, I think we can wrap it up.
Yes, again, thank you all for being in the webinar, and looking forward to work with you in order to enable your merchants to do more business.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.